Okay, y'all, we are at the last part of a churn, which is the monster phase. So if you remember that we had, of course, we started with upkeep phase, encounter phase, guardian phase. We just finished the hero phase, and now the last thing, monster phase. And I have to tell you, that last battle was, I mean, Zeke took a lot of damage. Let's be honest. Zeke took a lot of damage. Plus, he ended up with a physical affliction. But that's all good because remember the gold we got when N1 popped open that chest. We have Albus coming in to grab some gold from her, and he's going to go back and get probably a few of the elixir potions just in case, and some healing potions. So that's going to be my strategy for, would be the next churn coming up. So I'm already thinking ahead. As it may, let's go over here and let's talk about the monster phase. What is the very first thing that you do in the monster phase? We're going to come over here. We're going to consult the minion population track. And again, the very last video leading up to the demo, I talk about this extensively. So let's consult the minion population track. For this little demo, we have it set on 6 minions, meaning 6 minions are going to populate the dungeon. So we're going to go over here, and this is known as the monster area. This space right here, this is where that orc archer was, where Maheliak killed it. So we have, of course, 5 minions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we had Banevik spawn in. So we need to spawn in a minion. So quite simply, this is how we do it. Just kind of like with like how we saw with the Guardian. We're going to grab a D8 die. And we're going to let's come over here to up tier. We're doing level 1 quest, right? So we're going to spawn in a level 1 minion, draw. And it is a Cultist of Zal, elite version. And she has a special ability called Heart of Darkness. So let me grab her mini. Put the card down here for a moment. And there's her very cool retro-inspired miniature. So she's like this, there's like this cult that one of the factions in the game I created. So they got that like kind of evil book there, and she has this dagger. So we're going to spawn her in. Remember that there's 8 different spawn locations. We're just simply going to roll. And what is that? 4. So let's find spawn point 4. There's 1, 2, 3, and she's up in the War Room West. So she's way up there. That's good. Okay, so then what we're going to do is now notice something. In the monster area, we have all of these cards like this. Well, they're going to shift. She comes in last. Okay, so we're just going to go like this, shift these cards over, bring up our friendly skeletal grunt that we need to kill. And so see how that works? That just all comes in. So like the last minion that would come in would activate last. Okay? So let us start. Now we have our minion population is set. Our first monster to activate on the patrol, it's on a patrol route, or it's about to pick up a patrol route, is this Shadow Dweller. And it's right over here in Chamber of Kings North. Oh, and again, if you would have watched the video, because I'm not going to get into this right now. Right now it's a Vagrant minion, and we're going to see if it's going to convert into a raiding minion with the roll of a raid die. 6 different difficulties. We're playing on easy, which we're going to use a D12. Result of a 12, it converts into a raiding minion. Again, check out that last video to see all about that. So let me get its die, and we have the raid die and a D6. Okay, so the Shadow Dweller actually has these Shadow Dwellers, these huge spiders that can actually web a hero, elite ones can, chance they could, has a base movement of 4, so they're pretty good. They're pretty fast. So we have our raid die. On a result of 12, it'll convert to a raiding minion. I'm not going to keep going over this for all the other ones. Of course, for its base movement, and then we're going to see what patrol route it's going to pick up. So I'm going to roll over here where there's some space. So roll. First thing you do is you process your raid die. That's not a 12, right? Set it aside. You don't have to worry about it. We see that it generated 4 movement. 4 and plus its base movement of 4 is 8. And it is going to move on the blue patrol route. 8 spaces. So looking over here, the blue patrol route is going to come down into the Chamber of Kings South. Let me move you down here so you can see. It's actually headed to that spawn point. I don't think it's going to make it there. So let's move it on the blue patrol route. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it will hold its movement right there till next turn. So you can see it's coming right here to pick up another patrol route here. Monsters in Dungeon Crusade have unpredictable movement patterns. So it's going to force you to, adjust your planning, your strategy on the fly. Okay, so that one's done. That's quite simply how it works. And it's a very cool system. It's kind of like a living dungeon experience, if you will. Next up, we have this handsome fellow, an Orc Siegebreaker. And this guy is up here in the Cesspool South area. So again, we're going to roll those dice. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to roll over here, though. First thing we're going to do, consult your raid die. It's not a 12. It's going to stay a vagrant minion. Set that aside. Base movement of 2, generated 4, has a movement of 6. It is going to go on the green patrol route. So looking over here, the green patrol route is simply right here. So it's going to move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm sorry, right up here. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes. So it's going up here, which I'll show you. It's going to go up to the north, and it's going to pick up, it's going to that spawn point right there. So we know it is heading there. And again, we have to watch if this thing would convert, or this cultist of Zal, if they convert to raiding minions, the exit's right here. If they exit, they're going to raid the village, and you have to raise that terror level up by 1. So again, here's a strategy I'm thinking right now. I want to send a few heroes up here. Again, this is a demo, but there would be some quests up here that we could do. So we want to keep an eye on them that they don't raid, because they could get right out, and it's going to raise the terror level. So just kind of like a Crusader tip for you. Okay, we activated our Orc Siegebreaker. Moving right along, we have a Blackwood Prowler. So let's gather up our dice. Again, I hope you're enjoying this. I'm thoroughly enjoying hanging out with you and playing this. So right here, our Blackwood Prowler. Let me try to set this camera here. He is also on a spawn point. We're going to roll. I think I could roll right here without disrupting the board. Oh, that was close. Look at that, an 11. So it's still going to stay a vagrant minion. However, that's orange. Okay, Blackwood Prowlers have a lot of movement. They have a base movement of 5. Very fast. And it's going to move 6 and 5 is 11, and it is going to go on the orange patrol route. I want to point something out to you also. Well, first, let me tell you about him. It's a cool ability. Elite ones, if you notice, see that red medallion around his neck? See, hopefully it comes into focus. But that's called the Blood Moon Amulet. There's a chance that in combat, that thing can activate. It will boost up all of his warfare values by 3. So very deadly minion. It can become very powerful if the Blood Moon Amulet activates. Another thing I want to point out to you, since we're doing this, notice that there's the orange symbol on the green patrol route. When you see that symbol there, that means because there's not 4 ways it could go. So when I designed this, when you see a symbol like case in point on the green patrol route, it's simply going to move on that. It's the same exact thing. So we're going to move 11 down here. Remember I said about the rule of the chamber doors closing? This is good this came up. Minions do not know a hero is inside of those chambers. What is awesome is these heroes on their turn can spring out and attack that minion, because that's why the door is always shut. It's a good roll to remember. So anyway, we're going to roll. We got 11 movement here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to hold that 2 movement. It's going to pick up another patrol route. We're going to all you have to do is just roll the die, but we're going to remember he has 2 movement left. So we're going to roll the patrol route die. He's going to go blue now. So looking over here, it's going to go right 1, 2. It's going to go right over here, landing on top of treasure chest. Do you know how bad I want to go to next turn and have those heroes rally those 2 together to take that thing out? Which that's definitely what that's what we're going to be doing. Very cool. Honestly, I love this game for this, because you just don't know what's going to happen next in this dungeon. Love it. Okay, let's go over here. We have our friendly Wraith. And you know what I did? Please forgive me that I forgot to put the Wraith on the board. So do me a favor. Bear with me for one moment while I get that out, and I apologize about that. Setting up this game, it takes a lot in explaining it, so please forgive me, and that's something I forgot to do. So we have it's a green Wraith. I had moved some stuff around, guys, so I'm sorry that I did forget to put the green Wraith in. However, it is here now. So the green Wraith, and this is actually a heroic monster. And now we have to look, because this has a special ability. Let's first of all activate it. It has a base movement of 3. And the Wraith is over here, right on the siege tile. Hopefully it's going to stay. It's right here. So, taking a look, we're going to get all those dice, of course. And hopefully I can roll without knocking anything over. Okay, now see, that's dangerous, because if that thing would have raided, it could go right out of the dungeon. So we probably should send some heroes up north to take care of these minions. But as it is, it did not raid. Base movement of 3 with a generated 1 movement, so it has 4. It's going to go on the blue patrol route. That many movements. So we can see the blue patrol route is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me tell you that this one has a special ability, because it is an elite, and has a thing called Shadow Step. So Shadow Step, at the end of the race turn, it rolls 1d20. On a result of 12 to 20, it takes an additional turn. This ability can only activate once per turn. So we're going to have to roll the d20, and this Wraith could take another turn. Let me get the d20, and we're going to roll. So because of this is a heroic monster, there's a greater chance that their special abilities could activate. So on a 12 to 20, it's going to go again. And I don't think it did. No, that's just a 6. But you know what I mean? We got to be careful, because it could get right out of the siege area and raid the dungeon. Or, I'm sorry, raid the village, raid the dungeon. Sorry, it is late. Something else very cool you're going to learn about. We can see next, well, actually, that's going to be in a second. We have a battle coming up. The Skeletal Grunts. Now, it's not going to be following any patrol routes. This is going to be a cool battle. You're going to dig this. Minions in the game, since it is a raiding minion, it saw Enwin, and it's going to head out. It's going to follow the bloody arrows out of the dungeon. However, minions have hit and run tactics. So before it takes its movement, we're going to have a battle. Enwin versus a Skeletal Grunt, a kind of a grudge match. They're going to go at it again. Let's see what's going to happen.